Габриела, само ми кажи колко души имаме на разположение, колко на участниците на линия?
В момента има 50 участника онлайн.
50 онлайн.
Progress.
I would like to present myself, Gabriela Dimitrova, Director International Relations at the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I will be your virtual host today. In order to work efficiently, I would like to ask all participants to mute their microphones when they're not speaking. And I have now the pleasure to give the floor to our host at the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the President, Mr. Cvetan Simionov. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Welcome in Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Our partners from Council for Women Entrepreneurship in the diocese of Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Council of Branch Organization, dear friends from touristic sector, dear partners, it is honor for me to see one embassy that is very active in development of Bulgarian Argentine, in the case, in specific case, economic relations. It's evident that we are now in the peak, maybe, of the COVID crisis, but as British used to say, I'll try to translate it, the hours before sunrise are the darkest during the night, so it is good for us that in the peak we are thinking for the sector which was the most affected by the crisis. The question is why we insist on touristic sector. This is because the people are eager to travel. Many countries and touristic sector in these countries were focused during the 2 years period of COVID pandemic on internal touristic opportunities, but the time is coming and the last studies of the expectations of the clients of touristic sectors in different countries. Last one was a study in Germany, show that there is expectation in foreseeable future when the obstacles were lifted, will be lifted, to expect big growth in touristic area. I will not enter the matter for Argentine because our ambassador will tell us. I know he is always very interesting in explanations of our events, but what I will say is that we are fortunate, the people are fortunate, the earth is fortunate, touristic sector is fortunate because the viruses could not affect the sightseeing, could not affect natural sightseeing, natural places, the interesting touristic objects. We have many of them in Bulgaria, but Argentine is much bigger, and much richer of such places. So I have visited already this very friendly country, but my short visit shows that we have seen only peanuts of the things that could be seen there. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, again for the partnership in this event, and to our colleagues from the touristic sector. I wish all of you to learn more about opportunities in Argentine and to mark your place to visit when the obstacles will be lifted. Thank you very much and success to this event.
Thank you, Mr. Simeonov, for your welcoming words. Now I have the pleasure to give the floor for remarks by His Excellency Mr. Alfredo Atanasov, the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of the Republic of Argentina in our country.
Thank you. Señor Presidente de la Cámara de Comercio e Industria de Bulgaria, señoras, señores, amigas, amigos.
Господин председател на Българската търговско-промишлена палата, дами и господа, приятели.
En primer lugar, deseo agradecer a la Cámara de Comercio e Industria y especialmente a su presidente, Cvetán Simeonov, que por haberse hecho eco de la iniciativa de la Embajada y de algunos otros miembros de la Cámara de organizar un encuentro para abordar las oportunidades que ofrece mi país para el turismo internacional.
Преди всичко искам да благодаря на Българската търговско-промишлена палата и особено на нейния председател господин Цветан Симеонов, че подкрепиха инициативата на Аржентинското посолство за организиране на тази среща, на която да се разгледат възможностите, които моята страна предлага за международен туризъм.
Valoro muy especialmente la participación de agencias de turismo de la Argentina y agencias de turismo de Bulgaria en este evento.
Особено оценявам участието на българските и аржентинските туристически агенции в това събитие.
Nuestro país se caracteriza por poseer una de las mayores superficies de la Tierra, ocupando el 8º lugar a nivel mundial, el 4º en el continente americano, luego de Canadá, Estados Unidos de América y Brasil, y el 2º entre los países latinoamericanos.
Страната ни се характеризира с това, че е от най-големите по площ в световен мащаб, като се нарежда на 8-о място в света, на 4-то място на американския континент, след Канада, Бразилия и Съединените американски щати и на 2-ро място сред страните от Латинска Америка.
Tiene de norte a sur 3.694 kilómetros y de ancho continental 1.408 kilómetros.
Дължината от север на юг е 3694 км и има максимална континентална ширина 1409 км.
Nuestro país se ubica dentro de la zona subtropical templada en escala general. Sin embargo, su extensión supone el desarrollo de una gran diversidad climática que abarca desde los climas tropicales hasta los climas fríos del sur.
Страната ни се намира в умерения и субтропичен климатичен пояс в най-общ план. Въпреки това, територията й обхваща голямо климатично разнообразие, което варира от тропичен климат до студен климат на юг.
La República Argentina es el primer destino turístico internacional de la región latinoamericana, con más de 7,4 millones de turistas extranjeros por año, hasta que el turismo internacional se viera afectado por la pandemia del COVID-19.
Аржентина е първата международна туристическа дестинация в региона на Латинска Америка с около 7,4 милиона чуждестранни туристи годишно, докато международният туризъм не беше засегнат от COVID-пандемията.
Sin embargo, desde mediados del 2021 se observó un aumento significativo del turismo que llegó al país desde el extranjero, con un incremento en noviembre pasado de 5 veces con relación al mismo mes del año anterior.
В средата на 2021 година обаче се наблюдава значително увеличение на туристите, като през ноември миналата година туристическия поток се увеличил близо 5 пъти в сравнение с същия период на предходната година.
Deseo acotar aquí que la Argentina es un país con un alto nivel de vacunación que llega al 75% de la población con 2 dosis y que en estos momentos se están aplicando masivamente las dosis de refuerzo.
В икономически план международният туризъм на Аржентина представлява 7% от износа и 6 милиарда долара приходи годишно от рецептивен туризъм.
Quisiera también agregar que la Argentina dispone de una importante red de infraestructura para el turismo.
Бих искал също да отбележа, че Аржентина има значима инфраструктурна мрежа за туризъм.
Aeropuertos, puertos, rutas, caminos, terminales de ómnibus, así como hoteles y otras instalaciones.
Летища, пристанища, магистрали, пътища, хотели, както и други съоръжения.
Esta red será ampliada y mejorada gracias al programa 50 Destinos lanzado en el año 2020.
Тази мрежа ще бъде разширена и подобрена благодарение на програмата 50 дестинации, стартирала през 2020 година.
Argentina es un país con una gran diversidad natural y cultural, como así también con una gran riqueza de fauna y de flora autóctona.
Аржентина е страна с голямо природно и културно разнообразие, както и с голямо богатство на местна флора и фауна.
Las distintas corrientes migratorias nos dejaron una gran diáspora.
Различните миграционни течения ни оставиха голяма диаспора.
Alrededor de 100.000 habitantes con origen búlgaro, la mayoría de ellos de tercera y cuarta generación, que están ubicados principalmente en las provincias de Chaco, Chubut y Buenos Aires.
Около 100 000 български жители от български происход, повечето от които са трето или четвърто поколение, главно в провинциите Chaco, Buenos Aires и Chubut.
Asimismo, Argentina ofrece al turismo espacios de arte y cultura, música clásica, tango, diversas obras de arte, gastronomía, asado, vino, mate, hermosos paisajes y distintos climas en simultáneo, deportes diversos, fútbol, polo, esquí, caminatas y turismo inclusivo.
Аржентина предлага на туристите сфери на изкуство и на култура. Класическа музика, танго, произведения на изкуството, в гастрономията, вино, чай, мате, барбекю, красиви пейзажи и различен климат едновременно. Различни видове спорт, пол, футбол, ски, разходки и приобщаващ туризъм.
Queremos entonces que vean a Argentina como un lugar donde disfrutar de experiencias únicas y momentos inolvidables. Muchas gracias, los esperamos.
Искаме да видите Аржентина като място, където можете да имате незабравими преживявания и уникални моменти. Много ви благодаря. Очакваме ви.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your excellent presentation of the country of Argentina. I believe there is a lot to see and do in your country. Now we will have the pleasure to see the presentation of the regions of Argentina and the different types of tourism. And this presentation will be shown by Ms. Lucrezia Vani, a representative of the Embassy of Argentina in Sofia. Ms. Vani, you have the floor.
Hello everybody. Instead of Lucrezia Vani, I am going to give the presentation.
Welcome, Leonardo.
I would like to first thank the possibility that the Embassy has given, as well as the Commerce Chamber of Bulgaria, between Bulgaria and Argentina, and Gena Saveva for this exchange and this promotion between that can be given between our countries. So I'll proceed to share the screen. One second. One second, I'm trying to remember how to present. There we go. Perfect. So first of all, welcome. I'm going to be introducing the different regions and the different offers, touristic offers that the country has and will put forth to the world. First of all, we can see here the map of Argentina. We will be dividing it in 7 regions, where we will find Buenos Aires, the capital. We'll also find what is known as the Litoral, which is the green region, then the northwest, Córdoba, Cusco, and Patagonia. First of all, we'll introduce this speech, this presentation with this video. What are we looking for when we travel to Argentina?
What are we looking for when we travel to Argentina? Maybe we are looking for a world that reminds us of our home. When we travel, we want something that sets us in motion. That's the wonderful thing about traveling. No matter how many people are in motion, nobody can tell you what your journey is like. Only you can find the words that make sense of it all. Because in the end, the most important thing cannot be told. You've got to experience it. Visit Argentina.
Sorry about that, I don't know what just happened. As I have said before, here are the different regions, and we'll continue, and we'll begin with one of the most renowned ones, which is that of Buenos Aires. In order to do that, we will first be introduced to a video of it. So Buenos Aires City. Buenos Aires City is known for as many as parts of South America. It's one of the main capitals in Latin America, and it's a city which is renowned for being the birthplace of tango, being a cultural hotspot, and for having one of the most wonderful architecture, combination of European architecture with influences from all over the world. What we can observe here, for example, is Montserrat, which is known as the center for many, or the microcenter, located in front of the most modern neighborhood also in Buenos Aires. It's renowned for having been the center of all the historic events that took place in Buenos Aires, especially those throughout the period of the independence of Argentina from Spain. What we can observe in the photo, for example, is we can observe the Pink House, which is the office of the presidents. We can also see the central bank, the cathedral in the left, as well as the beginning of one of three of the most important avenues in the city, which are the North Diagonal, the Avenue of May, and the South Diagonal. As we can see in this photo, Buenos Aires is represented for its various architectural styles, and they're all combined in such an eclectic way, which really make up the beauty of this wonderful capital. Continuing, for example, we have the neighborhood of Albanera. It's renowned for being the place of the Congress, as well as having many of the most wonderful and most beautiful pieces of architecture in the city, especially those which are in the area of the Avenue of May, which holds a combination of different styles, like brought from Spain, France, and even Italy. Continuing, we have what is known as San Telmo, one of the most historic neighborhoods of Buenos Aires, an area which is renowned for its fairs in the weekends, its bustling cultural activity. Whenever you go to this neighborhood, you'll be able to see lots of tango, lots of music, lots of people showing their handcrafts. It's wonderful also because it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in Buenos Aires, and therefore it's renowned for having this architecture. And it's truly where you can see the roots of the Buenos Aires identity and all that Buenos Aires once was when it was growing. Continuing, we can observe La Boca. This is known as one of the most representative neighborhoods of Buenos Aires. It's one of the most photographed in the world, especially the area of Caminito, which is the one that we are observing right now. The area is renowned for having been the place where most of the immigrants resided when they just arrived to the city. This is the reason why we can observe lots of the structures from the period in which Argentina was growing and developing. And one of the most particular things is that this place is filled with tango dancers, as well as color, as we can observe in the photo, because of a very renowned artist, which was called Benito Quinquela Martin, who decided to renovate this neighborhood and bring it to the 20th century with its colors, and really trying to bring those kind of Genovese roots that were very, very, very present in the immigrants of Buenos Aires. Moving on, for example, we can also have the Puerto Madero neighborhood, which is known as the most modern neighborhood in Buenos Aires, renowned for its modern architecture and its very forward organization. What we can observe in the photo is one of the landmarks, which is El Puente de la Mujer, also which would be translated to the Bridge of the Woman. This bridge was designed by Santiago Calatrava, and it represents a couple which is dancing the tango, and this is why it has this particular shape. And it's one of the landmarks of Buenos Aires, I would say so. Following, we have Retiro, which is one of the areas in the northern part of the city, renowned for its station, its wonderful train station, as well as its architecture, its eclectic architecture, which is representative of the whole of the city. But here we can observe really good expositions of French architecture especially. And in this case, for example, we have what is known as the Tower San Martin, which had been a gift by the British in 1910. Now we're moving on to Recoleta. Recoleta is one of the most historic neighborhoods in Buenos Aires. It still even retains what had been a church from the 1720s, which is La Iglesia del Pilar, or the Pilar Church. This neighborhood is renowned for its French-style architecture and having been the place of residence of many of the most important families in Buenos Aires and even in Argentina sometimes. It's also renowned, for example, for this flower, which is known as Floralis genetica, and it's a very beautiful sculpture which we can observe in one of the many parks of the neighborhood. It's also known for Eva Perón's grave and what is known as the Recoleta Cemetery, which is filled with mausoleums and wonderful expositions of architecture, especially cemetery architecture, that are truly worth seeing and worth experiencing. That, in spite of how that sounds, is very romantic and very interesting in terms of touristic expression. We can also observe Palermo. It's one of the most bustling neighborhoods of Buenos Aires, very modern, known for its parks, lots of green areas to enjoy with the family, and also we can observe, for example, the neighborhood of Palermo Soho within, or Palermo Hollywood, which have been areas that have been growing in the past years, filled with cultural activity, places where you can go shopping, and it's renowned for its beautiful, colorful houses. What we can observe, for example, here are what is known as the Palermo Woods, especially in the bottom part, we can see what's known as a planetary. All these activities are wonderful for the family, as I had said before, and it's truly a wonderful neighborhood that has a lot to offer and a lot to discover. One of the landmarks of Buenos Aires, as it has been seen in the picture, 9 de Julio, it's known to be and thought by many to be the widest avenue in the world. It's also the place where one of the main landmarks in Buenos Aires resides, which is the obelisk, a true symbol of Buenos Aires, and something that every single tourist has to experience when they go to this city. Also, for example, we can observe what is known as one of the best opera houses in the world, which is the Colón Theater. And as you can observe, the Colón Theater is the yellowish the yellowish building, which appears in the right part. And this avenue is renowned for connecting areas and being truly a wonderful place for tourism and to explore architecture. Teatro Colón, as I had said before, one of the most wonderful opera houses. Here we can observe the interior of it, known for being of very high quality, one of the best acoustics in the world, and for one of the best operas in the world as well. Street art is also a very big part of what Buenos Aires is. We can observe, as I said before, a lot of culture, a lot of art taking place. Street art takes place in all of Buenos Aires. We can observe it in Boca, we can observe it in Palermo, and it has been growing in different areas like Villa Crespo. It's truly wonderful to see how artists are really painting the city and bringing forth one of the new landmarks of Buenos Aires, which is its urban art. Also, one of the things for which we're most renowned, which is our soccer or football. Two different teams which are always colliding in Buenos Aires, Boca Juniors and River Plate. Truly, every single one of the matches is something to see. The matches are representative. They show all the passion of the Porteño people, the people from Buenos Aires, as well as the Argentinian people. And they're true touristic experiences. They're true experiences where you'll truly see all the passion for football that this country has to offer. Here we can observe also the River Plate Stadium. The past one was the Boca Juniors Stadium. These two are rivals. They're always playing, and there's like they're big matches, as you can observe, filled with passion and representative of everything that Argentina has to offer when it comes to football. Moving on, it's also known as the birthplace of tango, and for that we'll show this video. celebrated as one of the most representative things of Buenos Aires and of the Rio de la Plata area. It's known for having wonderful melodies that express millions of different feelings and are representative of the Argentinian passion. And above all, tango is known for being this melting pot that perfectly defines the porteño identity because of all the different cultural identities that it brings forth in order to be created. Tourists will be able to enjoy what are the wonderful milongas, which are the places where people can go and dance tango. They can go experience it for the first time for as many times as they want, truly. But it's truly a very embraceful place where people can experience tango, can get into this Argentinian passion, and truly see how it takes place in Buenos Aires, which is truly wonderful. Now we'll be looking at the bigger Buenos Aires province, which is the biggest province in Argentina, and it has a lot to offer. So we will be looking at, for example, one of the first exponents of the province is Tigre, very close to Buenos Aires, a wonderful place known for its delta and all the different houses that are built among them. Truly a place where the city and nature connect in a unique way, and where people with their families can go experience a very like from the busy city life that Buenos Aires has to offer. So truly a wonderful experience. We can observe, for example, here the traditional boats that are wandering around the channels around the delta, delivering food, and also moving the people around so that they can go, because there are no roads here in this area of the province. Also, Buenos Aires is known for its farms or states. As many of you know, Argentina is a very important agricultural country, and therefore the agricultural economy took place in this kind of places in the past century, especially, where we have these wonderful states that at once held the most important families that were involved in these activities, and are true exponents of the Rio de la Plata or river plate architecture, and are truly places where we can experience the gauchesca culture, the culture that comes from the gauchos, which are like the Argentinian cowboys in a way, and we can truly feel the culture of the countryside. Especially, for example, with a renowned gastronomy, above all the asado, or in this case, they're having a pig, the roasted pig, which is really known in the province. People in the farm really have their own way of cooking this kind of meals, and every single tourist that visits this part of the country needs to experience the true gaucho experience, the true countryside experience that this place has to offer. Now we'll be moving on to a different region, which is the region of the littoral. It's an area renowned for its rivers and its wonderful nature. So as we could observe, the littoral is truly the hotspot for all that is related to nature. The perfect place for those wandering to find a more kind of a more natural, a more connected to the environment experience. A really good place also to watch wildlife in all its different ways. And as we'll be looking now in the presentation, there are many places that can be visited within this region. One of the most renowned ones is Iguazu, in the very north of the province of Misiones, right next to the border with Brazil. The Iguazu Falls are renowned internationally for being one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. A place which is renowned for its wonderful nature, its wonderful landscapes, and truly accessible for families even. They can all go and enjoy all the things that this place has to offer. And it's truly a wonderful experience. For example, here we can observe the train that connects one part of the national park with the other, where people are trying to get to what is known as the Devil's Gorge, which is one of the most beautiful places of the Iguazu Falls and one of the most visited by tourists. Here, for example, we can observe the pasturals that lead to this Devil's Gorge, also known as the Devil's Throat. It is not known in this way because it's as if walls are all connecting in one place and falling into some kind of hole, and the amount of water and the intensity of the experience is just beyond this world. Here, for example, we can observe what tourists would be seeing, this wonderful natural place, truly imponent, truly immense, and a wonderful experience. Also here, for example, we can observe a more kind of landscape view of the Iguazu Falls. There are many pasturals that connect the national park, and therefore we can observe all these different views of the place, each of them more beautiful than the other one. Tourists, as was observed in the last picture too, can visit the closeness of the Iguazu Falls by getting into these boats and approaching the falls. It's truly a wonderful experience because you're truly immersed into this powerful current of water, and you get to observe all this immense nature all around you, and it's truly a wonderful experience. Also, for those that are looking for something more adventurous, you can visit the Iguazu Falls at night and observe how the full moon reflects on the water. This is also very representative of the Aboriginal culture of the place, which always talked about how the crystalline waters of this area reflected the moon and all the different legends that arose from those kind of thoughts. Now moving on to the northern region, we'll be looking at this video to introduce it. As we could observe in the video, this area is renowned for its arid landscapes and the way in which these merge with the Andes Mountains. A true place where we can observe Quichua culture as well as colonialism, the colonial culture, and how they have merged in this area of Argentina. It's truly wonderful to see the different regions and how they all complement each other into creating this this hotspot in terms of this melting pot of cultures. One of the most known places in this region is the Salta City. It's known for being a place filled with colonial architecture, Spanish architecture, and for having one of the most wonderful architecture also in Argentina. It's also a place where we can truly experience a wonderful gastronomy, and it's renowned also for being obviously a cultural hotspot. Also, for example, we can observe the peñas, which are events like this one, where people gather to listen to music and to have a meal, have the traditional food of Salta and all the different regions of the north. Also, we can observe what is known as the train to the clouds, or Tren a las Nubes. This train is truly wonderful because of the landscapes it allows you to see. As we can observe, it goes through the mountains, and that's why it's known the train to the clouds, because of the high places that it goes through. The views are just mesmerizing, and it's truly an experience that every single tourist has to experience when they go to the northern region of Argentina. Also, this region is known for what is known as the Valles Canachaquilles. It's a place where we can experience some of the best wines in Argentina, especially those that are the white wines, for those interested. The best grape is the Torontes, something which is particular of this area, and something that I truly recommend. For those that are willing to go through the route of the wine that this place has to offer, you will be able to observe wonderful mountains of all the colors imaginable, and also experience very good wines in top quality vineyards and top quality wine cellars. So it's truly a wonderful place to experience, especially for those people that are trying to get to know the Argentinian wine. One of the main places in that order is Cafayate. So Cafayate is known for its vineyards, it's known for its wonderful landscapes. As you can observe, this kind of mixture between the arid mountains and the green it has surfaced in this valley where the wine is made and the wine is grown. It's also known for being really high up in the mountains, so we have with a very good quality and very and made in very high heights. Also, we can observe La Quebrada de las Conchas. This place is also really wonderful for road trips and to really get to know it. Known for its biodiversity and also for its arid landscape. It's truly a place that offers a lot of trekking and a lot of different experiences where we can really get in touch with nature in a different way. The different tones of red is clearly distinguishable in the picture. And some tones that we would only imagine that they were present in Mars, but they're truly present in this place for Argentina. Also, we have what is known as La Quebrada de Mahuaca. It's the place where Argentina meets with Bolivia, a place very high up in the mountain, known for its very traditional architecture, for its connection with the Quichua culture, and also for its wonderful landscapes with all the colors imaginable. There's even a place which is called the Mountain of the Seven Colors, which portrays just the amount of beauty that this region has to offer. Also, we have Salinas Grandes. It's one of the biggest salt lakes in all of the world. If I'm not mistaken, it would be the third one. And it's truly a wonderful experience to see the immensity of this place, which holds a lot of importance in terms of the Aboriginal culture of the area, and which is truly a wonderful place to take pictures and experience and do all kind of sports activities. Also, for example, we have Purwamarca. This is a wonderful town which is located high up in the mountains in the northern region. As you can observe, it's known for its wonderful and colorful mountains that surround it, and that truly bring almost a magical feeling to the place. Also, very close by, we can observe Las Serranías del Local. This place is known obviously for its wonderful trekkings and also for all the views that it has to offer. As you can see, the mountain here just lays in such a way that is just wonderful and mesmerizing, and that truly brings forward what I had described up to now, which is the true natural beauty of this region, which is arid, but just mesmerizing. Completely different from the literal area that I had described before. Now we'll be looking into Cuyo, one of the most requested areas in Argentina in terms of international tourism, and it's known for its wonderful wines and landscapes. So the region of Cuyo, we have Mendoza, San Juan, and San Luis. It's an area which is renowned for its wonderful wines, which are one of the best wines, some of the best wines in the world. This area is also best known for its landscape, its gastronomy, and for being a very good place to get out of the bustling cities of Argentina and just relax among the nature. This area is known for its Malbec, one of the best brands of Argentina. This type of wine is truly representative of our wine production as a whole, and this red wine is truly something that I hope many of you have experienced, because it's truly a very wonderful experience in terms of taste. The wine route is also something that many tourists are seeking for, known for its wonderful wines as well as wonderful landscapes. Some of the highest mountains in the world outside of the Everest area. Some of them even like one of the highest ones in the world, which is Aconcagua, which is 6,000 meters, are surrounding these provinces. And really a place where nature, landscapes mix with the gastronomic experience of Argentina. The wine route can also be enjoyed during the winter, for example, where we can observe truly wonderful wine cellars and wine producing areas, very close by to snow-covered mountains, where we can also find even some ski resorts, which are really good. These cellars are known for its top-notch technology, for being places where we can experience the hospitality experience in Argentina, as well as places where we can taste some really good wine, especially, as I said before, the Malbec wine, which is representative of this area and of Argentina as a whole. And it's truly experienced by many tourists due to the glamour of the whole experience, the landscape, the getting to know the process of how this wine is made, as well as having the opportunity to taste all sorts of wines. As I said before, the Aconcagua, very well known by many people for being one of the highest mountains outside of the Everest area. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's 6,700 meters, something like that. And it's a place where we can find lots of trekkings. Some of them easier than others, and some of them more difficult than others. But it's truly a place where everybody can gather to truly see the natural beauty of Argentina in terms of its Andes Mountains, which are surrounding it to the west. Now moving on to one of the most requested places in Argentina, Patagonia. We'll be introducing it with a video. The area of Patagonia, renowned for the way the Andes are shown in this part of Argentina, renowned for its ski resorts, the many places where all kinds of sports can be performed and can be done, and also for its wonderful wildlife and landscapes. It's comprehended all these different regions. We can observe here all these provinces. So one of the most known places in Patagonia is Bariloche. Bariloche is known as has one of the biggest ski resorts in Latin America and in Argentina. It's Federal, as it's known. And Bariloche is truly known for its wonderful cultural experience, for the landscapes, and especially for its chocolate and its beer. Here we can observe all the different influences that the Swiss and German people had to offer when they moved to this area of Argentina in the periods of Great Migration. So we can observe truly wonderful, as I said before, chocolate and beer has been nurtured by those that were descended from these Swiss and German families. During the summer, also the landscape is perfectly fine to experience it and to discover it. We can observe as here the wonderful lakes and the wonderful forests that these areas have to offer. It's also possible to truly get to know the different Andes mountains and all the different lakes that this place has to offer, and yes, truly experience all that the summer in this area has to offer. Also, the beauty of this landscape in fall. This area is completely colored during the fall, during the autumn, when all the leaves turn to all hues and all tones of orange, yellow, and this area is also truly wonderful to discover in this part of the year. The temperatures are not as harsh as those of the winter, so it's perfect to wander around the forests and truly discover the natural beauty of this area. Also, as it's promoted here, navigation, really getting to know the different lakes through boats. You can get boats from Bariloche and go to different places like Port Les, and truly get to know the Patagonia, this area of Patagonia, where many of its places are completely untouched by civilization, and where we can observe forests that are some of the most biodiverse in the world, which are this kind of forests which are also present down in the Patagonian region. Also, something for which this area is known is the fact that it's an easy place where we can connect Argentina and Chile. Many trips can be started in San Carlos de Bariloche, which is the whole name of the city. You can go by car or by bus and truly experience this place. Also, there are many connections that have to be made by boat. And you truly get to see the natural beauty of this area. You go through, as it says here, Puerto Pañuelo, Puerto Blest, Puerto Frias, Puerto Alegre, Perucha, Petrohue, until you get to Puerto Varas and the area of Puerto Montt, which are already in Chile. And all this area, like, you can truly experience the crossing of the Andes, which is truly imponent, and you can all see the untapped nature that this place has to offer, all the forests and the lakes and the amount of just natural beauty that this place has. Also, one of the most promoted things about this area is the snow. It's a place where tourists can get to experience all kinds of activities related to snow. Going on trekkings in the winter, like through the forests, also going skiing, going snowboarding, and truly discovering the beauty of the southern part of Latin America in the winter, when it's completely covered by snow. One of the most known places that can be seen throughout the year is El Calafate, located further down into the south in the province of Santa Cruz. As we can see, it's a glacier Perito Moreno. It's located in this city of the south, and it's known for being truly imponent and one of the only glaciers in the world that keeps growing instead of receding. So it's truly something to see, especially when it breaks. For example, sometimes like some very big pieces of ice will detach from the main glacier. And this experience is just truly wonderful to observe due to how magnificent and how imponent and immense this experience is. It's also possible to go on top of the glacier, go on trekkings with the family, truly get to see like this glacier up close, and it feels like you're literally in the middle of Antarctica, wandering around the ice. So it's truly a wonderful experience. A very unique experience too. We can observe here, for example, people going through the cracks of the glacier and truly observing, truly getting to know this immense glacier and all that it has to offer. Also, we can get on boats and get up close to the glacier, wander through the lake, and see the turquoise waters that this lake has. While seeing the immensity of the glacier and the different detachments that are here throughout the day. Also, this place is known for its gastronomy. Like, we can observe asados, we can see how people are cooking, especially cow and pork meat, and sometimes even in the area of Patagonia we can observe people cooking lamb. This area is really known for its lamb. The Patagonian lamb, because of the high amount of influence that this area has had from English and British communities in the past. And it's truly, I would say, one of the best gastronomic experiences in Argentina to truly get to see the gastronomy of this place. Also, it's in Ushuaia, obviously the southern city in the world, one of the most wonderful places that you can visit in Argentina, and truly a unique experience because there's no other city like Ushuaia in Patagonia, surrounded by the Andes in a very cinematographic kind of way, as well as like the Beagle Channel and the end of the connection between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. This city is known for its ports, is known for its natural beauty, and for being the meeting place between the continents of South America and that of Antarctica. And it's truly a wonderful experience. It's also known for, historically, the area of Ushuaia, the area of Tierra del Fuego, as it's known, the land of the fire, used to be an area where people were sent to prison because it was so far away from all of the Argentinian society. Now that is not done anymore, but we can still see the remnants of those kind of penitentiary systems that used to occur in that area, and which are truly remarkable and are truly part of the history of the province. Also, we can observe El Tren del Fin del Mundo, the train of the end of the world. It's truly a wonderful experience because you get to see a very old train, which is led by, but it's steam powered, and you feel like you have traveled back in time. You're going through the different forests in Ushuaia, in the area of Tierra del Fuego. You're seeing the natural wonders of this place, and you're reconnecting with its history. Since this train at one point used to connect those people that were working, that were residing in the prisons, with the areas where they had to work in order to make up their time in prison, so they had to chop wood that would be sent to different parts of Argentina. So we can see how this refurbished train connects you back to the history of the province, as well as connects you to the magical, truly wonderful natural wonders that this province has to offer. Also, we can observe the Les Eclairs Lighthouse. It's truly one of the southernmost lighthouses in the world, and it's one of the most remarkable landmarks in terms of the touristic experience of Ushuaia. Many people will get on the boats and will go and observe this lighthouse, which is surrounded by the big old channel, the Andes, and just these very scenic kind of scenarios. We can also observe, for example, lots of wildlife like penguins and seals, which are present in the bay. Here, for example, we can observe which are the penguins of Megay, and they're renowned for being one of the most common animals in the area, and are very beautiful and are remarkable, especially for those that are seeking a more nature-related experience in Argentina. The area of Patagonia, especially that of Tierra del Fuego, it's known for being a biodiverse place, a very biodiversity hotspot in both terms, especially in the part of the oceanic kind of biodiversity. So lots of experience when it comes to getting closer to the sea. Also, one of the most wonderful experiences that you will be able to have when you go to Patagonia, especially Ushuaia. It's riding on a helicopter, looking at everything from above. You'll see the wonderful mountains, the scenic places, the forests, and how these all connect into just this truly magical place that Tierra del Fuego and the rest of Patagonia has. Also, as I had said before, Tierra del Fuego is the connecting point to the Antarctica as a whole. And so you'll also be able to experience this. Many people can get on cruises and different boats to go to Antarctica, and they can truly see this unknown and completely different experience where we can observe this completely snow-covered, ice-covered continent full of biodiversity and completely unexpected and wonderful sights. So going into one of the most renowned parts of what Argentina has to offer, we'll be looking at gastronomy. We can observe this video in order to introduce this section. So from what we could observe in the video, we can observe how wide and the range that Argentina has to offer in terms of gastronomy. But what's most known about Argentina, as most of you know, is the Argentinian steak. Here we can observe, well, the Argentinian asado, And it's meat that is prepared in a very special way, very traditional way. It's kind of a ritual that people follow in terms of preparing this meat. And what's the best about it is the quality of it, and just the tenderness. It's a whole experience when you get to eat it, and something that no tourists cannot miss when they go to Argentina. Especially in Buenos Aires and many other parts of Argentina, you observe the non-milanesa. In this case, we can observe milanesa napolitana. Milanesa is basically breaded meat that has on top cheese and ham and tomato sauce, or tomato as a whole. And it's truly traditional of Argentina, truly traditional, especially of Buenos Aires. And you'll be able to find it in many traditional restaurants all over the city. And it's something that brings back the memories for many Argentinians all over the world. Also renowned for the amount of Italian culture, especially in Buenos Aires. The Italian culture is very strong, and so the pizza is something that is very traditional of Argentina. We make it in various ways, many times using what we call a mud furnace. So the pizza is made in such a way that it's truly completely different. It's very similar to the Italian way, but it's also completely renovated and completely unique way, which truly introduces what the gastronomy of Argentina is, that kind of melting point between the European culture and all that Argentina has to offer in terms of a completely unique experience. Also, something that is very particular, especially in Buenos Aires, were sort of rooftops, as we call them. So there are places where you can see all the views that Buenos Aires has to offer, while having cocktails, while having sometimes even a meal. And there are places where you can truly hang out with your family, with your friends, and you can truly discover Buenos Aires in a different way from the heights. Also, Buenos Aires, as you can observe in this photo pretty clearly, is known as the city of domes, due to its wonderful architecture and the amount of domes that it presents all over the city. So it's truly wonderful to get on any of these rooftops and try to observe the different domes and its architecture, which is completely different one from the other. As I said before, cocktails, Buenos Aires, especially other big cities in Argentina like Rosario and Córdoba, they're truly innovating in terms of gastronomy, in terms of cocktails. They're trying to get on to this international trend, experimenting. So it's all of Argentina, you'll find all kinds of cocktails, all kinds of experiences related to this, where people can truly get to feel a different vibe, can truly see this mixture between what is happening around the world and also what Argentinians have to offer in terms of cocktails and all this. Also, like, it's bars. This is, for example, one of the bars in Buenos Aires, which has refurbished an old metro, like a subway, and they have literally cut a part of it and make it the entrance of the bar. So truly nightlife, especially in Buenos Aires, is something that will attract many people due to its innovative approach and also the amount of offer that you can find. Something also that is very traditional throughout Argentina is vermouth. We'll see it prepared in this case, for example, with soda, and it's something that we can taste in many different parts. Also, for example, we will observe, especially in the area of Litoral, the littoral, we'll observe how people prepare all kinds of fishes that they retrieve from the river. Surubí, dorado are some of the most normal ones, and people will truly get to experience the gastronomy in these places because it's completely different one from the other. So if anyone goes to the littoral, it's a place where fish is predominant, and we can observe how they prepare it in their own particular way, sometimes even using Aboriginal techniques. Second. Also, the area of the littoral is known for its chipa. Chipa is basically a little pastry which is made of tapioca and of cheese. And it's truly, I've met a lot of people that have truly enjoyed this and felt that it was something completely different and something really tasty. It's very delicious. It's very representative of the mixing of cultures between the Spanish culture and the Guarani culture of the area, which is the Aboriginals of the area, the main ones. So it's truly wonderful to see how in the gastronomy we can observe the history of Argentina and this melting pot that it has to offer. Also, one of the most important symbols and the most known symbols of Argentina, el mate, the mate. The mate is predominant in this area, the litoral, because it's a drink that was created by the Guarani people, the Aboriginal people, and then was incorporated into the Argentinian culture as a whole. And it's truly wonderful because the mate is not only a drink, it's also an experience. It's a bonding experience. People have mate rounds now with the situation with COVID. It's not truly how it happens because, well, it's not very COVID friendly. But people usually, when they gather with their friends, when they gather with their families, they drink mate all together. They all share the same cup and they pass it around. So the mate is truly a symbol of that solidarity, this brotherhood that is very present in Argentina and the community sense of it. Also, one of the most known things, and each of the provinces will have its special kind of way of doing this, is empanadas. So for example, like we will have Buenos Aires, they do it in one way, then we'll have the renowned Salta empanadas, the empanadas from Santiago del Estero, they're completely different. So it's truly something that it's worth discovering when you go to Argentina, the true gastronomic experience. Many times you can, for example, go to different places where they'll teach you to make the empanadas. I've seen such programs all over, especially for example in Mendoza. You'll truly get to experience the amount of love and the amount of effort that comes into doing this kind of food and all the different particularities. Some include potatoes, some don't, some cut the meat in a certain way or some don't. And you can make them of different flavors, so it's truly something worth discovering. Also, one of my favorites from the north of Argentina, la humita. So it's basically a very traditional plate made of corn and spices and some different, it's like, for example, we have, sometimes they include peppers, sometimes, and they make like kind of a pastry, some kind of paste, which they envelope in the leaves of the corn, and they boil it or they do it in the furnace. And it's truly a very interesting, very different food that brings back to the Quichua culture of this area of Argentina, the northern area. And that speaks of how important the corn is and was to this culture. So it's truly a wonderful experience to discover the gastronomy in this area. Also, for example, here we have another kind of plate. This is something also representative of the north. It's humita. It's very similar to meat, and different spices. And also it's spicier, which is very different from the rest of the gastronomy of Argentina, because usually many people avoid the spicy feeling, but in this area, in the northern part of Argentina, spice is a lot more present. Also, we're known, for example, for...
One moment. I found this on...
Sorry about that. Also, we're known for this, which is cheese with different kind of sweets. So we can observe, for example, in this photo, we can observe papaya sweet, also sweet potato sweet, and some others, which are basically, many times they're served on top of cheese, And it's something that can be seen in different provinces. Each of them privilege one or the other. In the north, papaya is more normal. In Buenos Aires, maybe sweet potato or quin, which is the other variety to the right, are the most normal. And it's one of the main desserts of Argentina. And it's truly something really delicious, really interesting, and a mix of flavors which really captivates a lot of people. Also, we're known for our wine, as I had said before. In places like Mendoza, you'll be able to experience this in a different way, with maybe like with the scenic scenarios, the scenic landscapes that you'll see, as well as the quality meat and the wine. Well, as we can observe here, the traditional asado, we can observe the meat to the right, the grilled vegetables that come with it, as well as what we know as achuras. So in this photo, for example, we can observe chinchulín, we can observe chorizo, as well as morcilla, as we call it, which is, in English, many times they call it as dry blood. Many of the other things that we cook, like kidneys, and they'll bring together in order to create what we know as asado, and which is the literal translation would be grilled. And it's truly a wonderful experience due to the quality of the food, the quality of the meat, the quality of the vegetables, and something that no tourist can miss when they go to Argentina. Also, in this case, we are looking at the traditional Patagonic lamb. You will see in most of the restaurants in the south, and it's truly something to experience. It's tender, it has a completely different flavor, and it complements wonderfully with the wine of the area. So it's very representative and must for each and every one of the tourists that visit this area. Also, the southern part of Argentina, the Patagonia area, is known for its fish, especially the sea fish in country with the littoral, which have like the river fish. And we'll observe all kinds of fish which are retrieved from the rich Atlantic Ocean. So it's truly a wonderful area to taste all kinds of different cuisines related to the sea. And one of the main landmarks of Ushuaia, of the southernmost city in the world, is the king crab, as you can observe here. This crab is truly really big, and it's retrieved from the cold waters of the Atlantic Ocean, as well as the Beagle Channel. And it's cooked in Ushuaia, and it's a very traditional plate, and it's something that people have to taste when they go there. Also, we'll be looking into extreme sports in Argentina, which is also a big part of our identity and who we are as a country. Sports are very important, so we'll be looking at this video. So as we could see in the video, there are many activities throughout Argentina that can be done, all throughout in the region of Cusco, in the region of the north, the littoral in Patagonia, we have many of them. For example, it's really well known in Mendoza, in the area of Cusco. The stand-up rafting is one of the main activities. People will gather in this way, and they will explore the different rivers that the area has to show, And it's truly discovering the landscape in a completely different way, because many of these places are completely out of any kind of road or civilization, so it's truly inaccessible and a different experience. Also climbing, as many of you have seen, the Andes Mountains are surrounding Argentina to the west, and also we have the mountains in Córdoba, in the Córdoba region. So climbing is a very important activity and extreme sport that many would love to experience due to the rush that it creates and also the activity that it offers. And it's also discovering the mountains in a completely innovative and different way. Also, for example, we can, as I said before, the ski experience, the snowboard experience is something which is quite remarkable about Argentina. We can find loads of different resorts. If there are at least 5 which are very big and important, but we can find almost like 35 different resorts in Argentina. And truly this experience is something completely different, something which will bring a lot of people to experience the Andes Mountains in a completely different way. And we can this presentation with this video.
¿Qué vas a hacer cuando todo esto pase? Caminar por lugares que parecen de otro planeta. Subir montañas para tener las mejores vistas. Sentir la adrenalina de deportes extremos. Disfrutar de días románticos y de noches mágicas. Conocer nuevas culturas. Vivir como un local. Viajar solo, en familia o con amigos. Entrar en la sintonía del campo y conectar con la naturaleza. Volver a sentirte libre. Llegar al fin del mundo para empezar de nuevo. Elegí tu próxima aventura. Visita Argentina.
So thank you very much for your attention and for listening to me with this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and if you learned about Argentina and love it as much as I do.
Thank you for the virtual trip. I believe everybody enjoyed it because we received a lot of useful and interesting information during it. I suggest that we now link all these facts and figures and possible sites of interest with the present Bulgarian representatives of travel agencies and tour operators, because we have from one side what Argentina offers, and now we could see what Bulgarian tourists and agencies could demand. In this regard, we have a partner present at the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the representative of the Association of Tour Operators and Travel Agents, Union Future for Tourism. The vice president of this association is present at the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So I would like to give the floor to Mr. Dimitar Baltov for his address and for providing more input regarding the possible cooperation between Bulgarian and Argentinian companies. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me provide my gratitude to the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and also to the Embassy of Argentina in Sofia and to His Excellency Mr. Atanasov for the invitation and for organizing this event. I would also like to thank everyone attending this forum today. I sincerely hope that meetings like this one will become tradition, which will help us all exchange ideas, contacts and useful practices that will encourage tourism exchange between the Republic of Argentina and the Republic of Bulgaria. Tourism is not just a job description, nor is it just a sector of a country's economy. Tourism is much more. It is a powerful tool of social, political and cultural life, an instrument of peace, prosperity and a way to promote responsible attitude towards nature. Tourism brings together remote communities, gives people the opportunity to get to know each other, including those who were until recently considered different, strange, or unknown. When this happens, you realize that people on the other side of the world are not that much different. They love, they dream, they suffer, all the same. And once you understand this, you become friends. Tourism teaches us many things: respect the different, respect the cultural and the natural heritage. The world today is facing a huge challenge. Tourism was the first to enter the economic crisis and will be the last to emerge from it. Last year, the collapse in international travel was 80% compared to 2019, according to the World Tourism Organization. To be successful, we need an adequate response and rapid adaptation to the changing realities, a new style of interaction and resource management. This is our mission as the largest organization of tour operators and travel agents in Bulgaria, to help employers in the tourism industry get out of the crisis and prepare them for the next stage of economic growth and prosperity, promote professional development through access to funding, donors programs, contacts, training, and good practices. Although we are a relatively young organization, we have set important goals and are working hard to achieve them. Finally, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in this forum, which I hope will be of mutual interest to both parties. I am very grateful that our partners were able to discover the amazing and diverse opportunities for tourism in Argentina, thanks to your wonderful presentation. Our country also has a lot to show. Even though the territory of Bulgaria is 20 times smaller than that of Argentina, Bulgaria offers tourism in 4 seasons, world-class ski resorts, picturesque towns, wonderful seaside and spa resorts. I wish you all good luck and success in this first meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baltov, for your address and for your remarks. Now is the time, according to our program, to have a discussion between representatives of the tourism sector from 2 countries. I have just shared in the chat box the list of participants of today from 2 sites, so they could have their emails and continue the possible discussions arising from today's meeting. But I would like to invite all participants now either to write in the chat box or raising a hand to share their first reflections, if they have some questions or some valuable information for the participants. Now is the time.
Can I just please ask you to also share all the contacts via email as well, so that we can also distribute it to our members?
Yes, this list will be sent to everybody registered for today's meeting, so it will be possible for the next steps, the next conversations that are going to emerge as of today, to have the contacts. I believe the presentation of our colleague from Argentina was so detailed that nobody has questions right now.
Exactly, it was perfect.
But since everybody will know everybody with the list of participants, I suggest that we move forward. We have 2 more speakers at our program, even at its end. Still, we will expect some more information regarding the Argentinian brand and the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of the Argentine Republic. Meanwhile, there are some reflections in the chat box. Well, it's a welcoming reflection. Maybe before giving the floor to our colleagues from the Ministry of Tourism, I would like to announce that this will be just our first meeting. A second one will be scheduled on the 17th of February next month, so the tourism of Bulgaria could be presented. Then we will be happy to have Argentinian companies from tourism sector incoming that will be acquainted with the nature and the values, the people, and places of interest of Bulgaria. So you could mark in your calendars that next meeting, mirror meeting, I could say, will be held on the 17th of February, the same time, 3 p.m. for Sofia and 10 p.m. for Buenos Aires. I see the reflections in the chat box. People are fascinated by the presentation. So, Leonardo, you were very successful.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think it's the time if we had representatives of the Ministry of Tourism and Sports of the Argentine Republic with us to switch on the mic and give their remarks. I don't see the names in our program, Nadia Zanardi and Leonardo Ballassini. Among our participants, maybe they switched off earlier, but I would like to welcome His Excellency, Mr. Tanasov, if he has some final words for our event today.
Bueno, yo quiero agradecerles una vez más a la Cámara de Comercio por habernos brindado esta posibilidad.
Бих искала още веднъж да благодаря на Българската търговско-промишлената палата за това, че ни предостави тази възможност.
Creo que hemos podido hacer una amplia presentación de las oportunidades turísticas que Argentina tiene.
Вярвам, че успяхме да направим една точно обширна презентация на туристическите възможности, които предоставя Аржентина.
Esperamos ahora que se establezcan los contactos entre los operadores búlgaros y los operadores argentinos.
И сега очакваме да се установят контакти между туристическите агенции на България и на Аржентина.
Y nos volveremos a encontrar pronto para la presentación sobre las oportunidades turísticas de Bulgaria para Argentina.
И ще се видим отново скоро, за да разгледаме туристическите възможности, които България може да предостави на Аржентина.
Así que entonces felicitaciones por haber podido llevar adelante este evento y por supuesto muchas gracias una vez más.
Така че още веднъж поздравления за това прекрасно събитие и много благодаря на всички ви за участието.
Може да обявиме първата дамска делегация за Аржентина.
En inglés
Организира го България и Аржентина. Съвместно. На 19 март, от 19 март до 4 април.
Okay, so also we would like to announce that the first Bulgarian delegation of the Bulgarian women delegation to the country of Argentina, which will start
19 март.
Which will start on March the 19th.
And
it's organized from Bulgarian and Argentinian side.
I would like to thank everybody for this valuable information. As you see, we have two pieces of news at the end of our event. It was a pleasure for me to understand about all the treasures of Argentina today, not only looking on the globe or the map, but seeing almost live today. And as I said before, you're all welcome to the next event on the 17th of February. Once again, thank you everybody for your time and for your devotion to be with us today. Stay healthy, enjoy life, and travel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.